all-American man. No one pay attention to what's in my head. I got a voice inside that needs to be fed. It's causing chaos everywhere I land. I got a fever. I got a fever.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's the coach, Jordan Maxson. And football is officially back. Jordan, how the hell are you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Douglas, doing well. Football is officially back, like you said. We had the high school level, we had the college level, and now the NFL is here. So football is now complete, 360, full circle. We're here. We made it. Can't wait to break into it. How are things on your end?
Doing good, buddy. Doing really good. Excited to be back with you tonight. Super, super excited. We've got a lot to talk about, Jordan. Anything you want to touch on before we get into it? Because we've got some predictions to make. We got some games to break down. We've got all kinds of stuff going on tonight. What do you want to talk about before we get into that? What do you want
Douglas,
to talk about?
I'm ready to go straight into it. So I'm ready.
I know. I'm amped too. Let's get into it then, Jordan. So we're going to start off with your Cincinnati Bengals. You guys got the New England Patriots this weekend. 1 o'clock start for us on the East Coast. Jordan, give us your thoughts on New England, just from an outsider's perspective. Playing these guys week one, what are your thoughts off the top?
I think New England, Douglas, they're sound defensively. We know this during the Belichick era. We know this during the post-Belichick era. So especially with Mayo being there and coaching, I don't think that aspect of the team is going to change. So I expect a tough defensive battle in the first half. But I think, Cincinnati is going to come out with that offense and eventually break them. So Cincinnati just has to be really on it. If they come out, punch them in the mouth, score that first touchdown, kind of break in that offensive line, get our defense back together and confident, not playing behind the score. I think it's going to be a solid win for Cincinnati. I'm looking at a 28-14 win as my prediction. But I think New England's going to come out and give us all they have. They're going to throw the kitchen sink. Jacoby Brissett has all the experience in the world, Doug, so he's going to give us fits at times. He's still going to get his. He's still going to make some plays. We know he's still mobile, even though, he's a little bit advanced in age. So look for him to make plays with his legs and extend plays and, kind of test Cincinnati's defense early and often. But I think Cincinnati's pass rush is going to get to him, and we're just going to put it away.
Okay, so you got 28-14 Bengals. So when I look at the New England roster, in my opinion, they don't have skill position type players that can really stretch the field and really make a difference. They've got Demario Douglas as a starter for wide receiver. They got Jalen Polk as a starter for wide receiver. None of these guys really scare you as an opposing defense. I think you guys are going to send a lot of pressure. I think you guys are going to be able to get to Jacoby Brissett. Ramondre Stevenson is a solid back, but the O-line for the Patriots is not great. So I believe you guys are going to handle them pretty well. I'm going to go 31-10. I don't think they have a lot for you guys. I think you guys really dominate this game. I'd like to see Joe Burrow kind of light it up a little bit. Get these receivers involved. We know, with Chase practicing this week, T. Higgins has a little bit of a hamstring, but I'm excited to see you guys play. I'm excited to see if this offense is ready. So should be a good game. Is there anything about New England that worries you? I know you mentioned the defense is still solid. Is there anything else that worries you at all with New England?
Not at this standpoint, Doug. Like you touched on, their offensive line, it's about average. Their quarterback, he's experienced. So, I'm never going to put that in the rearview mirror. I don't, his best days stat wise are probably behind him, but a veteran quarterback any given Sunday. I think that if there's anybody that's going to give us a fit outside their defense, it's just going to be Jacoby Brissett himself. I think he's going to make plays and extend things on his legs early in the first half and kind of, give Cincinnati some looks they haven't seen in probably a couple years when it comes to playing New England. This New England team is so different. It's not Mac Jones. It's not all these, drop back quarterbacks that we've seen during the Tom Brady era, the Matt Castle era. things of that nature. So it's a totally different regime there. So I think that offensive philosophy is going to be a lot different. So I think it's, when I say that first half, those first two quarters are just going to be an adjustment period for Lou and the boys on defense. But they're going to come back. They're going to come out and they're going to, like you said, they're going to handle business.
Yeah.
Lou's a phenomenal guy to make adjustments in the second half. That's what he's known for. So I think once we kind of learn that adjustment and those wrinkles that New England's going to throw at us in the first half, it's going to be fine. Even with the distractions with Chase, I think this offense is going to be ready. T. Higgins is going to be T. Higgins. I think he's going to have the career of his life right now, the year of his life in his career. Both, he's auditioning for a bigger contract for us and 31 other teams. So,
right.
He's going to get his regardless. And, what I'm really looking for is the Bengals run game. Can they establish it with a new backfield post Joe Mixon? And who's going to be that third wide receiver? Is it going to be Yoshi, which had a phenomenal training camp? Or is it going to be Burton, who we've seen flashes in the preseason? So
right.
a lot of questions to be answered on the Cincinnati offense. I think the Cincinnati defense, we know what it's going to be. We know what Lou's going to run. And it's just going to be our corners. All of our new corners kind of talking to each other. Everybody outside of Cam Taylor-Britt is kind of new. So Dax Hill is going to be, is named as a starter. So Dax Hill is the number 2 corner. Cam Taylor-Britt's number 1. And Turner is going to work that 3 role. So just paying attention to those outside guys on defense in the secondary and our defensive tackle position, outside of BJ Hill, who's going to step up. So a lot of questions on the defensive line when it comes to the interior and our secondary. So those are the things I'm going to focus on when we're hanging out Sunday, Douglas, and live tweeting this game and talking shit back and forth to each other. So I'm excited for it.
Long-winded answer there. So let's get back to it. What I am interested is the Patriots have a really solid secondary. Christian Gonzalez is a really solid player. Jonathan Jones is an okay corner. The safeties for the Patriots have always been solid. Jabril Peppers, Kyle Duggar. So I will be interested to see how you guys test their corners and their safeties, and if you guys are able to beat them over the top at all, and maybe make some big splash plays in the pass game. So that'll be interesting. We're probably going to see Christian Gonzalez on Jamar Chase, so that'll be a fun matchup, something to watch for this weekend. Again, 31-10 is my prediction. You're going 28-14. I don't think the Patriots have enough offense to make it that far. That's why I was a little bit more reserved. Should be a good start to the season, though, for you guys, as we both predict you guys to go 1-0. All right, Jordan, let's transition to the game of the weekend. Obviously, tonight's got a big game going on. It's 7-7 between the Chiefs and the Ravens right now. But the game of the weekend, the 4:25 game, middle of the day, is Browns in Dallas. This should be a very good football game if all things are clicking for both teams. I'll ask you first, Jordan. Initial thoughts on Dallas versus Cleveland today, or this Sunday?
This Sunday, Douglas, for Dallas versus Cleveland, I have Cleveland on the win, and I think Cleveland edges out Dallas defensively, and I think that's where you guys win in the defensive trenches. So to not make a long-winded answer right now in this segment, I think Cleveland has the edge when it comes to defense, and Dallas just doesn't have a run game. So you look at Dallas's running back room, it's the worst they've had in probably the last 4 to 5 seasons. On paper, they could come out and shock us, Douglas, but, this is prediction time, so I'm just looking at what I saw in the preseason, what I see on paper. It's not enough to make the Browns uncomfortable. And the Browns have a secondary that can answer some of these calls. Dallas is still going to come out and make plays. CeeDee Lamb is still going to get his. But at the end of the day, Cleveland's going to cause chaos in the backfield and make Dax Hill's day very long. So I have the Browns winning this game. I honestly think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think you guys are going to win that 28-17, maybe 28-21 range. But, Cleveland still packs some punch on offense too, Doug. So I think Cooper is going to be big. I think your tight ends are going to have a huge day, and you're going to take care of business. But as a Cleveland fan, how do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good overall. So when you look at Dallas's offense right now, there's two main points that you have to watch. It's CeeDee Lamb and it's Jake Ferguson. And I believe, in my opinion, that Denzel Ward is going to do a good job on CeeDee Lamb. Not stop him, do a good job. I believe Newsome can do well in the slot, maintain, and Martin Emerson's probably going to get some time on CeeDee Lamb too. Those are three very solid cornerbacks. Emerson and Ward are definitely the better of the two. I expect them to have a bulk of the time on CeeDee Lamb. But outside of CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, there aren't a lot of weapons on Dallas that I'm worried about. Zeke is probably on the bottom, the back part of his career in terms of being an impact running back. Rico Dowdle, young guy. Dalvin Cook, we don't think anything's going to happen with him. So running back wise, I'm not necessarily worried about them. We have to pressure Dak Prescott. Dallas still has a solid line. They still got good linemen. Tyler Smith, Zach Martin. Those guys are still very solid at their positions. So there will be a little bit of a battle up front. I expect our D-line to win up front. And I'm going to go 24-20 Browns to win. I think it's a closer game than you do. I think, I'm a little bit worried just because of Deshaun Watson, all the chatter, he thinks he's still elite. He's got to show us on the field. I don't want to hear about you thinking you're elite. You got to show you're elite on the field. So in my opinion, that's going to be very interesting to watch how he goes against a solid Dallas secondary with a guy like Trevon Diggs, who is literally looking for a pick six every time he's on the field. So if you mess up, that guy's taking it to the house. He's that good. Blake Hooker is a good safety. Jordan Lewis is a solid corner. Dallas has a good defense, Jordan. They got Micah Parsons, who's one of the top 5 defensive players in the league. So it's going to be tough. It's not going to be a walkthrough. So I'm going to say 24-20. Browns pull it out, and it should be a really, really fun weekend. Quick shout out to Linda. We don't know exactly what you're saying. I don't speak Spanish, but I appreciate you being here, Linda. Go ahead.
But I will say, Douglas, how do you slow down the pass rush? It's the run game. If Cleveland establishes the run game with Ford and company and gets the screen game going early and often, Doug, that takes away a lot of what Dallas is talented at. And that's been kind of the blueprint, especially if you look at Dallas's playoff loss last year. That their inability to catch up with the screen game always kind of hurts them. And that's something you guys do well, with or without Nick Chubb. Your offensive line and your offensive coordinator, they can really get that going. And once you fall asleep on that, you got Amari Cooper, who is a master and technician at this point of his career and picking apart the zone. So it's not going to be, I don't see the man-on-man coverage, going down deep for the 99s or the 9s and, going for those one-on-one battles. I see Amari Cooper and your tight end group and your running backs just kind of destroying that zone and just picking them apart. And I think that's where Deshaun Watson is got to be at week 1 with some ring rust and, lack of preseason play. They're going to help him out, Doug. They're not going to ask him to do anything that is too much at this point in the season. I see him ripping balls deep, probably week 3 or 4. But right now I see Cleveland's going to come out and establish that run game, slow the pass rush down, rip that screen game, and just pick apart the zone. And that's why I have my score as high as I do.
Okay. And I hope you're right. I really do. Jordan, we're going to start a new segment this week. We're going parlay of the week. And the way we're going to describe this is we're going to do 3 legs from the Bengals game, 3 legs from the Browns game. We're going to combine them and try to win some money. We're going to do $10 wager. Jordan, let's start with you. What leg of the bet do you want to add to start?
Because I'm new to the betting game, Douglas, I'm gonna let you take this segment off first.
Okay.
And kind of I'm gonna let the master teach the student here, and I'm gonna learn a thing or two because to our fans and viewers, I'm 10% new to this, so this is my first time doing anything like this. So I'm gonna learn a little bit as we go. So if I sound rough, I totally apologize. So Douglas, I'm gonna let you rip it off here.
So here we go. What I'm gonna start with. And it's going to be from the Bengals side of things. I'm going to go anytime touchdown score. I'm going Jamar Chase. I think he's going to score I think he's going to have a nice game to start. I'm going Jamar Chase to score anytime in the Bengals in New England game. All right, there's leg number 1, Jordan. What would you like to add to the bet now? So in this situation, you have Joe Burrow yards. You can go, 225, 250, 275. You can have, all kinds of different things. You have rushing yards for Zach Moss. What would you like to add?
I think I'm comfortable with saying I wouldn't have picked Jamar Chase. I would have picked T. Higgins myself because T. Higgins played the whole preseason and kind of has that timing down with Joe Burrow early. But I definitely
the reason I think this, Jordan, is I think Joe Burrow is going to try to make a statement by getting Jamar Chase involved a lot and try to show that the preseason did not matter. That's why I went that way. So, what are your thoughts?
I agree with that. They've been brothers all through college and pro, so I can totally see him making a statement for his contract. That has we still got a couple days, so maybe Saturday we'll get some good news there. But if not, definitely make a statement for his contract. Maybe get him that first touchdown on the offense, whether it's by call play or, Joe Burrow doing it himself. I could see that, but I'm more comfortable if I'm making a bet with T. Higgins because that timing is there. And we saw T. Higgins grab, 5 catches in the preseason drive that we saw go for a touchdown to him.
All right. Well, then we'll add T. Higgins. That'll be we'll add a leg from T. Higgins, getting a touchdown then. So we got a Jamar Chase touchdown. We got a T. Higgins touchdown. Jordan, because you said you think you guys handle the Patriots pretty easily, I'm going to add the last leg of the Bengals aspect. I'm going to say you guys cover the 8.5 points. I think you guys have a good chance of beating this team by more than 2 scores. So I'm going to add that aspect to our bet. Right now we are plus 800, Jordan. So let's go back. We're going to go to the Browns and Dallas game. Jordan, who do you think scores on the Browns this weekend?
For the Browns or on the Browns?
For the Browns.
For the Browns? Oh, that's easy. I'm going with David Njoku. I think he scores. I think he scores a big time 1 or 2 touchdowns this week at minimum.
Okay.
Because I think that's where Stefanski and company are going to call the offense. A tight end is a quarterback's best friend, Douglas, and I think that that's going to rear its head early and often in this game because the timing is not going to be there early, and Deshaun Watson needs to knock off that rust. And just that's who you go to. You go to your comfort zone, and the comfort zone is going to be the tight ends.
All right. I'm going to add Deshaun Watson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think he throws 2 touchdowns. I think he has to throw 2 touchdowns, Jordan, for us to win the game. Give me Deshaun Watson throwing over 1.5 touchdowns. Jordan, last aspect of our bet. We can do player rushing yards. We can do player receiving yards. We can do all kinds of different things. Where do you want to go to end this bet?
Well, do you want to go with the defensive player of the year getting 2 sacks or more?
Let me see if I can find that on here.
You want to go with some Myles Garrett action?
Let's see. Let me see if I can get sacks. I don't know if I can get sacks on here, but that would be cool if I could. Let's check. I don't think we can't do sacks like that.
Okay.
So it's got to be an offensive stat. So give me something offensive for the Browns.
Offensively, I think Jerome Ford goes 80 or more all-purpose.
80 or more all-purpose. Let me see.
Or if we just got to say rushing, 60 or more
you
rushing.
Said, all right, we're going to go. The over-under is 68.5. We're going to go over 68.5, and that is going to be the final leg of our bet. Let's see what we've got here. We're plus 7,058, Jordan. We're going to put $10 in to win $705. There is our bet slip. We will post this tomorrow. Jordan, we'll be back again next week to try again. But the bet slip officially, guys, we'll check it one more time just to make sure. Don't ignore all my other bets. I've got a lot going on right now. Our official bet slip is Jamar Chase anytime touchdown score, T. Higgins anytime touchdown score, Bengals to beat the spread 8.5 points, David Njoku anytime touchdown score, Deshaun Watson over a touchdown and a half, and Jerome Ford over 68.5 all-purpose yards. Jordan, that is going to be a fun one. We'll keep that on track as we check out the game. Let's transition, Jordan. Ohio State plays this weekend. The Buckeyes are back in action against Western Michigan. Jordan, what do you need to see in Game 2 that you didn't see in Game 1?
Game 2, I kind of alluded to it on Monday, Douglas. Just getting the three-headed running game going. I want to see more option plays. So I want to see more either RPOs or just a straight up, quarterback keeper or option. And, I think that would really make me happy. Get that offensive line involved early. Get those guys, pushing off the ball. Not just in the third and fourth quarter after we weighed on them. I'd really like to see us, come out in the first quarter and just absolutely run it down their throats, because Douglas, when we get to the Big Ten play, that's what's going to win us games. It's going to be ball control, time of possession, and rushing. So, against Western Michigan, let's reestablish the offensive line in the first quarter, get that triple option going, if not just one or the other of our two amazing running backs.
Yeah.
And, get the quarterback some keepers or some design runs. I know the passing game is going to take care of itself. That's no question there. But just really establish the offensive line and the rushing game. What would you like to see?
I want to see the offensive line dominate the game up front. I want to see domination. If that means breaking off long runs for Henderson and Judkins, fantastic. I want to see a push. I want to see the O-line getting nasty up front. I understand it's just Western Michigan, but we've got to see a little bit more toughness than we saw last week against Akron. That's my number one. My number two, I would like to see Western Michigan not score a point. I don't want to give up a point. Now, if they score late in the fourth, when everybody's out and all that kind of stuff, that's fine. I don't want to see them score a point until late in the fourth quarter, if anything. And my final thing I want to see, Jordan, I want to see Will Howard continue stepping up in the pocket and delivering the ball with zip and with accuracy like we saw in Game 1. I want to see that continued. If that takes care of itself, we obviously cover the spread. We do all that fun stuff. We win by a bunch of points. That's what I want to see. I want to see a dominating effort, similar to how we did in the second half against Akron. I want to see that for 3.5 to 4, almost 4 quarters, if you know what I mean. There's no reason for Ohio State not to dominate this game. I do kind of like that it's a 7:30 start. Get a little night game atmosphere. Get prepared, for later in the year. So, there's nothing Western Michigan can do about Ohio State, Jordan. There's nothing they can slow us down with. We need to dominate from the moment go, and I want to see that. I'm also, this is a little bit off the rails, but I'd like to see Brandon Ennis get more chances at kick return. I like the way he kick returns. He's got that little bit of juice in his legs. I want to see him continue to get some chances at kick return.
Well, I like to see Hicks more at linebacker, and I'd like to see Sawyer bring it home. We saw him get the pass pressure. We saw him with the quarterback hits, but I want to see it register as sacks. So those are the two big things I like to see on defense.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we highlighted this the other night. Sawyer was really, really good the other day. Really, really good. He never got the sack that he deserved, but he was really, really good rushing the passer. So I expect him to get maybe a sack or two against Western Michigan, Jordan. Again, Ohio State. This is a walkthrough. This is an easy game. Let's make it look like an easy game. Let's put it on them and get ready for Marshall here in 2 weeks. So pretty easy game this weekend. We're going to recap and do all that on Monday, Jordan. But we wanted to touch on the game. We know it's not a crazy one. So let's transition, Jordan, to our Cincinnati Reds. Jordan, if I told you that we were going to sweep the Astros and it just means nothing, it doesn't change a thing for the Reds, how would you have felt at the All-Star break? Would you have been like, oh, well, what do you mean it's not going to mean anything? It's the inconsistencies, buddy. Well,
first of all, I would have put $750 on the bet. That that's at the All-Star break. If you'd have told me that, hey, we are 100% going to sweep the Astros, Douglas, I would have hit some parlays. But second of all, seeing just a crazy stat, I think it was like 17-1 or 18-0 in the last 2 to 3 seasons, if not more, against the Houston Astros, against a world championship team. That's bonkers, and especially the way they won it today, just 1-0. we went from scoring double-digit runs last night to winning 1-0 today. So, I'm happy to see the young pitcher, go out on the mound today.
Looked
I think
good.
it looked really good. I think he had 4 Ks, 65 pitches where they caught him off at 4.5
Mhm.
innings pitched. Really breaking the league, Douglas. I'm happy to see that. We're controlling his pitch count. We're not asking him to do anything big. But against the Astros, Doug, I mean,
Yeah,
this is a 70.
that's a great pitching outing for
This,
against the Astros.
this is a 70 win plus team right now. So, the fact that we came and swept them, and maybe the Cleveland Guardians can give us a shout out because that actually helps them in their conquest in AL right now. The fact that we went into the Astros and swept them. So a little bit of Ohio helping Ohio there. Always good to see. But Douglas, they did it every way possible. They manufactured some runs. They hit some home runs. They had lights out pitching. Just everything we get excited about, and then we get down. We get a brick tied to us, and we get thrown over a bridge. So I'm not excited. So I'm happy that the young
it's hard to be
players.
excited. It's hard to be excited about this because
I'm happy.
it
Go ahead.
shows where we could be. It shows like what could have been. And I want to take a second, Jordan, to quick shout out for Ty France. When we signed him, I wasn't very happy. I thought it was kind of just another throwaway move. It didn't really mean anything. And I want to correct myself. He's made some good plays. He's made some big hits today with the solo home run to win the game. To put the Reds ahead to win the game. I thought Ty France has been really, really solid for the Reds, and I wanted to give him a quick shout out because we were a little hard on the signing when it happened, and we kind of thought it was a pointless signing, and he's been solid. It hasn't really changed our outlook, but as a player and an individual, I think he's done a great job this year, and I wanted to give him some props. Jordan, I looked up the stat before Monday's win. We were 11-2 in the last 13 meetings with the Astros, so that means we are 14-2 after sweeping them this week. 14-2 against them. That's pretty damn impressive. So
if we just play the Astros all year, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If we, it was good to see Rhett Lauder get out there, pitch 6 innings, only give up 4 hits. Did a great job limiting the Astros. He had some walks again. He's going to have to correct that, but it feels like I said, Rhett Lauder feels like he's going to be a starter for this team going forward. And I think this is just the foundation for next year and him being even better going forward. So
and a shout out to Reese Hines. Maybe you were able to get your Reese Hines jersey back out. He's participated in the last 2 games, Douglas. So
right.
Hopefully we'll get his phenom ways back and going. There was a point in the season where I was comparing him to Adam Dunn.
Yeah, you went pretty far with it.
I got slapped in the face humbly. So as an analyst, I learned some lessons this season. But it was just fun to see him get back over there. Hopefully that gets the young man's confidence back up because he's only 24 years old. So we got some promising players there, Douglas, like you said. Right now, these games are roster evaluation. So, I'm happy to see it, and hopefully we continue rocking.
For sure. Jordan, let's keep it moving. We're going to go to our Ohio news and notes. We've covered a lot tonight, Jordan, in a short period of time. We've been cooking. We've got our Bengals prediction. We've got our Browns prediction. We got our Ohio State prediction. We've talked about the Reds. Is there anything else you want to talk about tonight before we get out of here? You guys got a big game tomorrow. Alternatives back at it. What you got a lot going on. We're rooting for you, Coach. What else you got for us?
They a lot I can't talk about, but they're working hard. The junior program, we dropped a game last night, 22-16, but we made a lot of improvements there. So it was good to see that, especially coaching over there. But the big boys got a big game. A lot of young guys are going to be stepping up, Douglas, and against Withrow, they showed a lot of grit. We went through 3 quarterbacks total when it came to plays called. So to pull out that game was absolutely amazing. Defense absolutely stepped up when they needed to. Things were looking down. And I think they're going to come out and really play together, really play great. Coach Bresch, if he's listening, he's got those boys locked in, ready to go. And, shout out to the rest of the staff there. Everybody's been working hard. So Douglas, we're excited. We're ready. And I think they're going to get the dub tomorrow. So I feel it, but everything's got to go our way. We got to play our brand of football, and that's going to take care of business. So I'm super excited. We'll keep you in the loop. You'll be my first phone call when I leave. So sorry to wifey and company. I'll call you afterwards. So I just kind of told myself there live here, but I'm super excited. It's gonna be
Big game.
emotional
Another big
and
game.
another big game. But just a lot of great things going on behind the scenes. So I'm excited there. And anything you're wanting to highlight, Douglas? I know we kind of touched on MLS last time we were out.
Trying to think. Not anything major right now. It's a big weekend of college football, big weekend of NFL football. Cincinnati has their rivalry game against Pittsburgh, the backyard brawl. Yeah, man, it's going to be another great weekend. Thanks for the shout out. Let's go, Coach Fresh. Keep it going, man. We're always rooting for you. We're here supporting you for sure. Thanks for listening. Of course, we'll have to get you on the show at some point. But yeah,
we're working on that. We did talk about that today over text. So it's
excellent.
Something he's looking at the schedule for, and we'll get him on here sooner than later.
Fantastic. But yeah, big weekend of college football, dude. Go ahead.
You know what? A former Ohio State quarterback, Douglas, might take one to Michigan. So at 12 o'clock, Eastern on Saturday, I expect Texas to absolutely kick the shit out of that team up north. And the fact that he went to the press conference and called them the team up north, refused to say their name. He is still Ohio State through and through, Douglas. I was sad to see him leave the program, but I understood. But he is. The way he talks about it. He's been talking about this game for a year now. So it's that Texas and that pesky team up north. Those cheating bastards. They're going to get theirs, and I think we have to highlight that on the show a little bit because that quarterback spent some time here, Doug, and we know him very well. So I guess I'll be from 12 to 4, I'm going to be a Hook'em Longsword fan. I think the whole state of Ohio is going to be behind us, Doug. I think that's going to be an easy no-brainer there. So give Michigan their first loss, and I think it's going to be a big one. I think it's going to be a great game. But do you have any thoughts on that one?
I've got Texas winning by 2 touchdowns. I think they are going to kick the shit out of Michigan. I don't think it's a good matchup for Michigan. I think Michigan fans are delusional if they think that's a good matchup for them. So yeah, I'm definitely with you there. Jordan, hell of a show tonight. We went over 30 minutes, 60 live viewers tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. We know there is a ton of going on right now. NFL football. There's get-togethers over with the group. Take the under in that one. That'll be interesting. Coach Fresh, you'll have to send me that bet slip. Shout out to Big Play Cincinnati. They had the event over there tonight. Had a good turnout, so good for those guys. Busy night, Jordan. Glad to get on here with you. Glad to have 60 live viewers. That meant a lot to us. Any last words before we get out of here, bud?
No, we love all of our viewers. We knew tonight was going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, especially with the NFL kickoff. Big Play Cincy having their thing. It's Thursday night, kind of the calm before the storm for Friday games right now on the high school level. So we appreciate everybody that chimed in. Coach Fresh, I'll be shouting you out. Your Bengals hate. He's going to get an earful from me on Sunday, hopefully for the right reasons. But hey, man, I don't root for Cleveland to lose except for 2 times a year. So give me a little bit love back. But hey, we love everybody that tunes in, everybody that interacts. We're on Twitter. Our gift shop's still open. Get our koozies. Show support. We love all you guys, and we're just happy to be here, Douglas. Happy that we finally made it the NFL season. Can't wait to hang out with you on Sunday and live tweet and get some of these things together. And it's going to be a blast. And hey, I don't know if Cooper's listening, but my guys at my current fantasy team is live and in action right now, a few guys. So I'm going to see how this pans out, and I'll either be crying on Monday or be happy on Monday. So,
all right.
Douglas, let's run the house.
We will recap all that Monday. Ohio State, Bengals, Browns, anything you can imagine. We are going to recap that on Monday. Quick shout out to Jenna. Happy first day of the NFL. Go Browns, of course. We'll all be watching Sunday, so it's going to be a good time, and we cannot wait. Jordan, I will see you Monday night to talk about all of it. at 9 o'clock Eastern. Cannot wait, buddy. See you Monday.